All right. I should just start every lesson with those two words. All right. It's just like a beautiful gradual entrance. And now I've completely spent way too long explaining how much I love the fact that I say all right. So, question for you today. Question is, what is that fear that you're avoiding? And what if you decided today to start to face that fear? How could that change the trajectory of your life? What could that possibly do for you? What good could it do for you? How could it enhance your life? How could it speed up the results that you're after in your life? What if today you decided to stop running, to surrender, to let those fears be felt? That's what I mean by surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means to stop running, to allow those fears to be felt. Now, fear can be understood at very different levels, all over the place, all over the spectrum, because there's little fears, there's big fears, there's things that we don't even consciously admit are fears, and that's the hardest one. Oftentimes when we're dealing with social fears and anxiety, it's already a huge stretch to just admit it. That's already a huge milestone to hit. So technically, it probably would be called a marathon stone, not a milestone, if you were to put a measurement to it. In any case, it's already a huge victory to acknowledge, to be humble, to admit, yeah, I got some anxiety issues, okay. All right, don't we all though? And the truth is we all do. We all got some anxiety issues, come on. Are any of us perfect? Are any of us perfectly confident? No matter how confident any person is on this freaking planet, and shoot, any other planet out there that humans could possibly be on. Confidence is a skill, it's a muscle. The more we use it, the more we exercise it, the more we practice it, the stronger it gets. And there's always higher levels of anxiety. If you're comfortable in one situation, what's that other social interaction that you're not completely comfortable being yourself in yet? And you can always find an answer to that. What's that personality, the next level personality that you want to display, but currently makes you feel somewhat scared? And if you're really working on it, you're always going to find that, I guess that's the next level of my development. To get comfortable doing that, to perhaps be a bit more spontaneous, perhaps to be a bit more goofy, make crazy expressions every once in a while, and be absolutely judgment-free to yourself. Not criticize you, even if others are criticizing you. Because the more you that you show up in the world, the more response you're gonna get. Like the more intense the response you'll get. And that could be wanted responses, like positive responses that you would like, and then responses that you don't want. It's either people are going to be drawn to it, or they're going to be repelled by it, and it has nothing to do with you. It just has something to do with them, their own experience. The most important thing that you can do in your life for you is to show up powerfully you, and to continually show up more powerfully you. Let the world respond however it wants to. If you start to change who you are, how you behave in this world, based upon how other people respond to you, now you're not being real. Now you're not being you. Now you're not being the most powerful version of you. And here's the awesome part. There's people out there that can be most influenced by you positively for you showing up as your most powerful self. So let's say you're limiting yourself. You're choosing not to face those fears. Then you're never going to know the lives that you could impact if you did step up out of your comfort zone to face those fears. There's people out there that would never see that version of you and therefore never be as well influenced as they could be. So think about that. Think of everything we do. Showing up powerfully ourselves, holding back, feeding limiting stories of I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'd rather play it safe, I'd rather stay on the sidelines, I'll do it tomorrow, then tomorrow arrives, I'll do it tomorrow, then that tomorrow arrives, I'll do it next month, what's the rush, life is a long journey, I can wait, I got time. Well, the truth is, yeah, you got time, and what do you want to do with your time? That's the important part. We can easily tell ourselves that we have plenty of time, and the reality is, do we though? Time is dwindling. At some point, this life is over. Are you going to face those fears now or keep telling yourself later? And here's the thing, if you're telling yourself later and you're not doing any actual work to face the fear, then that energy reinforces the next day. You're gonna keep telling yourself later all the way until the timer ends. This life's over. And then you'll never know what you could have been had you decided today to face those fears. It's better to start facing those fears now than later. And of course, we all human, ain't none of us perfect. We need breaks every once in a while. I'm not saying like full on face every freaking fear every second of the day. Pace it. Life is not a sprint. Obviously, if you're to sprint a marathon, how early would you burn out? Shoot, if I went a full out sprint on a marathon, I would burn out within 600 meters, 800 meters at the most, at the longest, half a mile. I can't even sprint half a mile full speed. Full speed, I could probably only last 300 meters, maybe 200 meters. If you're to really like go top speed, like think about that. And that analogy applies to life. If you're to full on face every freaking fear, like level 10 out of 10 fear all the time, burn out easily and quickly, and that is no enjoyable way. The ideal pace is the pace that gets you to the finish line, that gets you to the goal that you're after. You have to have some aim, some direction, because that's the why. When you know what you want, that's why you face fears. It's to get those results. And you can build upon that why, by thinking about more how, why do I want the results that I want? But at the very most surface level, what you want is what's supposed to get you through. So if you don't even know what you want, then you have no why. You have no reason to face fears. You have no reason to keep going. So it's important to establish, what do you want? And are you telling yourself later as actually anxious energy that you're feeding and it's actually not getting you any closer to your goals? Okay, great. Once you establish that, okay, all right, if I was to stretch myself just 5% today, lean into fears just 5%, what would I do? So your challenge is to find what you would do. And then, of course, to do it. Oh yeah. There's only one way out, and it's through. So apply this in your life. Get crystal clear. Break apart some of the key areas of your life. Your social life. Is it time to upgrade your friendships? Your romantic life. Is it time to put yourself out there to date more? Is it time to build a more authentic and deeper, more genuine, fun relationship? Is it time to get more serious and enter the stage of marriage? Is it time to improve the quality of the marriage? Whatever stage you're at, there's always a higher level. There's always more happiness. There's always more confidence to attain. That's the beauty of life. It truly is a game, and a fun game, because the reward is real. It affects your experience, how you feel, how you show up in this life. And then in your career life, limitless. Each area has limitless areas to expand upon, to build upon, to get better at. How could you be more powerfully you in the workplace? Maybe you want to step up more as a leader. Maybe you want to throw out your perspective more. Maybe when you disagree with someone's idea, you want to have the confidence to comfortably challenge it and to give your perspective instead. Maybe you want to have the courage to quit your job and to pursue one that you love. Maybe you want to say, hey, boss, listen up. In a neutral and loving tone, of course, that it's time for you to get a raise and a promotion. Hey, sir, just want to talk about what I'm noticing here at work. Noticing that I feel like really agitated. It's not you, it's not what you guys do, it's just my internal response. I feel like the work I do is worth more income than I'm currently getting. And it's impacting me because I really want to sustain my ideal lifestyle, and this income is not sustaining that, and it makes me want to quit this job and find one that I like. And so my desire is that, and this is where you throw in what you want to negotiate, my desire is that you bump my raise to X amount, whatever it is. And look, you can absolutely have conversations like that. Oh my gosh, the boss is gonna fire me. If the boss fires you, then is that the kind of influence you want in your life? Is that the job you want? Do you absolutely need that job? And I know part of ourselves might think we need all these things, but truth is, if you don't love your job, you don't need it. maybe you need a job to get the income that you want, but is that the job you need? No, there's other people out there, there's better jobs for you if you decide that's not what you want. And if it is the job that you want, go ahead and have the confidence, get to that point if that's what you want, to be able to have conversations like that comfortably and confidently. So you see, endless areas to work on. And so your challenge is to find that fear and start leaning into it just 5%. Feel just a little bit scared. Do that now as opposed to later. Today, what is one way you can start to move toward that fear? So apply this, enjoy this. And if you want to learn confidence at a quicker rate, click the link below and download my free copy of my ebook, 5 Steps to Break the Anxiety Barrier. And until we speak again, you were born to be real, not to be perfect. So go out there and be who you are. I'll talk to you soon.